and welcome to a sunny morning in Newcastle. We're here on Saturday for a day of testing before a full day of racing for the Newcastle Kart Club Championship. This is round one, so starting off with a completely fresh slate. However, there is a bunch of AKC guys here to practice before the AKC race at Newcastle. So jumping straight into that practice day on Saturday, this was a mixed practice with all of the KA3 seniors and the tag 125 restricted lights. So taking you through a lap, turn 1 completely flat, braking for turn 2, quick left, flat out left turn 3, brake hard for turn 4 and get it turned in. I struggled a bit there. Pin it to the exit, brake early and get it turned quickly, and then over the ski jump and then down the bottom here, keep it in the camber, get it rotated, quick right left to get it pinned for the left to make sure to get a good exit, and then bravery down here through the speed bowl, keeping as much speed as you possibly can and not wearing off any hard braking here, get it turned in late and get on the accelerator early, and then miss the first apex and then hit the second apex at that last corner. So there's the lap in Newcastle. It's one of my favourite tracks, although it is extremely physical. But it was pretty carnage, especially when a lot of P-Fighters came out at the same time. There we go. Switchback done there. But yeah, so it was pretty carnage. A few of the sessions, but a lot of the sessions were quite calm, and the pace was not too bad. It was a few tenths off the other tag restricted boys in my team. However, there was a few of the AKC guys that came for testing that were on a different planet, like over a second ahead of all of us. And the format for this weekend would be there was no qualifying. It was just straight into Heat 1, and it was a randomised grid. And then Heat 2 would be the reverse of that grid. So a lot of this weekend was based on how many overtakes you could get done and your general consistency in pace. So going out here, I really had no clue what my pace was going to be like. But yeah, so we're starting 11th, which isn't too bad. The grid is 19. So we get a decent getaway. We get past a few people on the start. We're following this number 73. They go really slow into turn 1. Just a little nudge and they spin off. I'm not sure if they went off or not, but they definitely spun off the racing line. So that's me up into 8th, which isn't too bad. Well, momentarily, as I think the number 26 goes through. So yeah, and decent start from starting 11th on the outside. Yeah, jumping forward a lap, we're following number 56, trying to get a move done. Trying to move up the field as quickly as possible so we can get as many points for this championship, as it's not just final matters, it's every single race adds up the points. So following number 56, we did try and go for a move down there but didn't get it done. So we're going to follow him for one more lap. We go miss this apex and then hit the second one. Slid a bit, so lost a bit of time there. But here we go, we're following him. We're going to keep it flat until the braking of turn 2. Throw it in, go up on 2 wheels there actually. I think that was almost a grip flip. But yeah, and then around the right hander, caught up pretty well. So I should get past this guy soon. Just need to get a bit of a run and get an overtake done. So here we go, coming into the right and left. He takes it pretty tight. And then I get a good run out. He looks back and I just go for the move. And thankfully he backs out of it because you do not want to go too wide through there. So now jumping forward a few laps, I've caught up to the back of that 26 that got past me on lap 1, and Saxon Smith's ahead of him. So we're going to try and look for a move here because, you know, every position matters in this championship because I don't know how tight it's going to be at the end of the year. And those are 2 back markers off the track, so I don't gain any positions from that, unfortunately. But we are going to try and gain a position here somewhere. We definitely have the pace on these 2 as I caught a lot of time to them, but this is the final lap and they're still quite a distance away, so not sure if I'll be able to get a move done, but we can always just keep the speed up and look for any opportunities if they start fighting. But here we go, rounding out the final corners, out of the final corner, caught a lot, tried to get the human DRS to work and catch him down the straight, but no, that was the end of the race. So finished 7th, starting 11th, which isn't too bad, especially considering the top 2 guys are just on a different planet, so there's no way anyone's going to beat them. But yeah, so coming back to bits, I was decently happy with this job. You know, I don't feel like I could have done much more except for do better on the start. As you can see, I was pretty happy with myself there. But then the sun came out bright for Heat 2, and going out for the formation lap, the guy who's meant to be ahead of me in the order spins off on the formation lap, which is very easy to do. It's very hard to control yourself at Newcastle on cold tyres, but here I am, he's caught back up, and I'm telling him to go in front of me because he should be in front of me, otherwise I'll be starting on pole, which just isn't right. But I mean, I tried to take it, but they waved me through one more time so the guy could get back in the position, and you can see I'm pointing, trying to get his attention, but he's looking the other way at the moment, and I think I finally get his attention here as he looks to me, saying, yeah, get in front of me. And yeah, so now we're in the proper starting position. I'm starting 3rd, and you'll see this guy stays completely out of the tramp tracks and just jumps the start, which it's not too bad for me. I mean, I knew I was going to get past him eventually, and I'd rather get past P2 on the start because he was decently quick. As you can see, I should have, in hindsight, covered there because he just dives down my inside. So now I'm back into 3rd, following the 26, and he dives towards the inside of him, and I'm just going to follow him through here, braking, and he's off the line. So now we're into 2nd, and we looked like we were faster than 26 as well at the start of this race, and I could definitely see a move was going to be on soon. So as you can see, very close to the back of number 26, following him through the speed bowl. A decent enough run. Try and brake late into here. I have a bit of a slide here, so I lose a bit of time, but I know in the last corner he opens it up a lot more. And I go to dive down the inside as there's a bit of a slide, and number 49 comes out of nowhere with a move, and that just hits my side pod, and I spin, and I have an agonizingly long wait to rejoin the track because I have to wait till everyone's passed. I'm down to 17th, which is quite disappointing regarding where I was and the points I was looking at. Some of the fault of that crash can be put on me. I could have steered out of the corner once I'd seen him, and that's due to a lack of awareness from me, but I do believe it was a very late move, so yeah, I'm not sure. But here we go, I can go overtake all these karts once again. So I make a move, late braking into that corner, that was 16th. I try to get a double switchback on this person in the yellow helmet. Almost get it done, don't get the drive out of the corner though. So we're following them for a little bit, and we cut to the end of that lap. And coming onto the main straight, I open up the final corner a lot more and get a way better drive out of the corner and straight through into 15th. So making moves up the field quite quickly, but the field's very spread out, so the gaps in between these people are enormous. And I make the same move, late braking into that corner, get it rotated. Nice, job done. Salvaging some points here. Coming home on the final lap, rounding the final corner. As you can see, more karts were just in sight, but not enough time to catch them. And that's a very disappointing race to end up in 14th. So yeah, not too many points this weekend so far, and my finishing positions have only landed me a 10th place grid position for Heat 3, so not too good. And we were waiting on the grid for Heat 3 for 10 or 15 minutes, and you can see Saxon Smith there celebrating that we're finally going out.
Finally.
Going out for Heat 3, trying to get my tyres warm and thinking of a race strategy for this race. I was looking to pick up as many positions as I could and use some of the pace that I'd shown against the other drivers. So here we are following Saxon Smith around the final corner. We're going to try and keep as close as possible that we can to him. And we get wait for one more time through, so false start there, but here we go. Again, rounding out the final corner behind Saxon Smith, try to keep as close as possible. The revs rise. I do keep pretty close, but you can see his kart's got better acceleration than mine. And we pick up one spot on the outside there, 2 spots, and then we quickly lose a spot back. So, not too bad of a start, up 2 positions. And then we're following this 56, and I follow him on the inside and do not expect them to slow down that much. I give him a little bit of a tap and he goes off. So I've done that twice this weekend, but they're just my mistakes. You're not realising how slow people would be going through some of the corners on lap 1. So now we're behind number 17 and we go for a move here, but 2 slows up a lot and I run into the back of him, and then 17 switchbacks me and almost pushes me off the track. Well, does push me off the track, but not too far, and it was fair enough. And then I slide out of the final corner, and that lets him get a run on me into the first corner. So back behind 17, but we know we do have the pace to overtake him and a few of the guys up the front. So we're just going to try and work forward in this race and, overtake as many people as we possibly can. And you can see up ahead that he's fighting with Saxon Smith now, and I see that they kind of have a little bit of a squabble in that second corner, and I get a run on him, dive down the inside, and that's a corner I've been struggling with all day, and he switches me straight back. I try to switch back him, can't get it done, so we're back behind the 17 again. It's great defense from him, and I need to really improve my overtaking in some of these spots. I need to park it on the apex instead of going in deep and letting him switch back, but that's my mistake and it's learned with experience, so build upon that and keep that in mind for next time when I'm going for another move. But here we are, they're a bit slow out of the final corner. I look to see if I can go for a move down the inside. I can't, blocks off. So we're still behind the 17, trying to activate human DRS once again because I feel like I am a little bit down on the straight in some spots compared to others. But here we go, we're back behind the 17 and Saxon Smith's back ahead of him. And we're trying to get a run out of the final corner. He goes to the inside, I try to follow him through. If I was smart about it here, I could have picked up a position, but I wasn't very smart about it. I should have prioritised a run out of the final corner instead of looking for a move there. But yeah, so 17th through on Saxon, and I'm going to try and look for a move on him soon because I feel like I could be further up the field, maybe challenging for a podium. Making a few mistakes and I'm trying to look for a move here. Get a bit of a run of him coming out of here. Kind of messes up the final corner, slides out a bit. I have a bit of a run on him, but then he just gets back on me on the straight. So yeah, we're going to look for a move as quick as we possibly can because those guys ahead of him are slowly fading away. As you can see, they're stretching the gap every lap, and he makes a mistake here and I should have dived to the inside. I keep on the outside and Zach Nader from behind me attacks me and goes on my inside there. luckily he doesn't push me off, and I stay around the outside and keep the position for now. But I had to keep in mind that he was behind me from this point on in the race. And here we are on the final lap, chasing Saxon down, looking for a move. We get a great run out of that corner. Dive to the inside at second last, and then complete the move at the last corner, and that was on the last lap of the race for 6th place. So not too bad of a race. I actually quite enjoyed how I handled it, although I wish I got to on the 17 and made it stick by parking it on the apex instead of going deep. But you live and you learn. These mistakes will be ironed out soon enough. So yeah, that's right, there was no Heat 4. We were promised a Heat 4 at the start of the weekend, but as we got to Heat 4 they realised they wouldn't be able to do the final in time before it got dark. So we got launched straight into the final, and we got told about that on the grid, which I didn't appreciate very much. But yeah, because I wanted to move up positions in the Heat 4 so I could start higher up in the final. Here we go, we're starting 7th. I absolutely rammed Saxon on accident, and a few people go through on my left. Carry a bit of speed, push Saxon through, go around the outside of a few guys, so I keep P7. Not a horrible start, but the announcement that we got that this was the final just absolutely killed my motivation this race, and I wasn't looking anywhere near as racy as before. That bump that I gave Saxon on the start, if you see my front nose cone, it is now hanging off, and in some corners at random moments it will just cause horrendous understeer, so the car was just not working in my favour. And then if I did get a run onto the straights, it would drag down and I would lose time. So yeah, not the best way I could have started the race by doing that, but we're still going to try and make moves because every point does matter, but we are just not looking quick in this race at all. So as you can see, I had nowhere near as much pace as I did in Heat 3 in this race, and Zach dives up my inside and takes a position, and yeah, so we're not looking anywhere near as quick as we were in the other heats, but because of my mistake on the start. So yeah, it's just the way it goes, and it's my issue to fix those mistakes, and once I do fix those mistakes and have a clean weekend, that's when the success will come. Onto the final lap of a pretty highlight-free race. Still behind Saxon, you can see that Zach's disappeared up the road, but yeah, pretty disappointing final, and pretty disappointing weekend overall. Again, would have been further up the pace I had early in the weekend, but that's the way these things go, and a lot of the reason I'm down where I am is because of my own mistakes. So we'll try and fix those and then hopefully see some success. time I come in after one of these weekends. But yeah, thanks to Top Gun, thanks to my parents, and thanks to you guys for watching.